Namaskaram everyone, please confirm if we are live. Hello Aryan, hi Rajnandani. Please let us know once you see us. Hello Medha. Hi Prabhat. Hi Samiksha, Krati, Nidhi. Hi Shambhuvi. Hello Devyani. Hello Disha, Aryan. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Alright, so welcome to another session with our toppers of 2022. And today I have with me Abhishek Mishra, who is joining XLRI. And because this session I got notified about this session at a really short notice. I couldn't get a chance to speak to him, so I'm going to talk to him right in front of you. And he's going to guide you all about the preparation, and you can also ask your questions. So feel free to put up questions. And I would begin the session by congratulating you, Abhishek, and I would want you to introduce yourself.
So, I am from small town Katni, Madhya Pradesh.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Sure. So, I will give you a little bit about my background. I had 10 CGPA in class 10. In 12th, I had 83.6%. I did my BTech from Symbiosis Institute of Technology from Electronics branch. I had 82.9%. Post that, I have been working as a software developer for almost last 3.58 years. And I started giving CAT. So this was my third attempt.
Okay.
I started in year 2020. That was my first attempt. And finally, I was able to get into XLRI.
Okay, good. So this was your third attempt, so I'm sure this is a source of motivation for a lot of people who are repeating, maybe for the second time or maybe for the third time. So it is quite possible that, like him, you might not be able to make it the first time, but if you work hard enough, maybe you get it in the second time or the third time. Anyway, what all exams did you take, Abhishek? क्या सिर्फ ZAT दिया था और भी एग्जाम दिए थे?
No, I gave CAT. I scored 95 percentile in CAT.
Okay.
I also gave IFT. My score was not that good, but still I got a call from IFT also, since they have increased the number of seats. So I had 93 percentile in IFT. I gave SNAP, I couldn't clear it, and I gave SAT, I had 98.35 percentile in SAT.
Okay, so you're joining XLRI now?
Yeah.
The HR program?
XLRI HRM.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So that's the top-notch program of XLRI, and he's gotten 98.35.
Yeah.
Okay. And what were your CAT calls? 95 आया है तो उसमें भी calls आए होंगे?
I had call from IIM-Shillong.
Okay.
CAP calls and IIT Roorkee.
Okay.
And also IIM the Shaka.
So are you interested in HRM, or you are doing it because it's your best call?
Well, bit of both.
Okay.
I knew that I am not going to get. I have no interest in finance and marketing as such. So I knew operations and HR were my best bet.
Okay.
So since I'm getting HRM, so.
Okay, cool, good enough. Anyway, I want you to tell all of us. We have been talking about this in the class, that ZAT is a 5-option exam. We've also spoken about how 0.01 gets deducted, 0.1 gets deducted after 8 unattempted questions. We have decision making, we have poem-based RCs, we have essay writing, and we have GK. So how did you prepare for all of this extra stuff that happens in ZAT and not in CAT and other exams? When did you start your prep? What did you do differently?
So this time around, after CAT, so I knew when I gave CAT, I will not be getting into Blackie. I will not be scoring 99 percentile. So I started preparing for that right after the CAT. And one section that is different every year, and it was decision making. It is my favorite section, and I attended Ravi sir classes that he take a course every year for 1 month and do a lot of practice questions. So my focus was into decision making mostly, And for quants, since I prepared for CAT, so I knew most of the concepts. Only thing that I wanted to prepare for, like I wanted to do a lot of practice, since that was, I felt that that's why I couldn't score good in CAT, because I had lack of practice. So for a whole 1 month, I did a lot of practice courses of various faculty. Like Ravi sir has taken quite a few tests, like practice courses, and there are a lot of lectures on YouTube about like how they solve the previous year's Z questions. That also I did.
Okay.
And for VARC, I was sorted with reading comprehension. That's my favorite part in VARC. I read extensively. So for me, that was not that tough. But poem also, like I was not very uncomfortable in. I did your courses. You took a practice session last year. I think this time you were not around.
Yes.
That time, but last year you took quite a few practice courses for that. So I did those, and then I did practice for grammars, grammar and vocab.
Okay. So you followed my recordings for VRC?
Yes.
And Ravi sir's
I used to watch. Yes. I used to watch live classes of Ravi sir and follow recordings of you and Shabana ma'am for VRC.
Okay, cool, good enough. All right. What about we often get asked this question that how did you manage your distractions, and you were also working. So how did you manage your working hours with prep?
Working from home like made my job easy.
Okay.
So you don't have to work every time. You get couple of hours here and
commuting का time भी बच जाता है.
Commuting time, and that saves energy. When I used to work from office, when I came back, so I used to work in Pune, and there was so much traffic. So when I used to came back home, I was so exhausted. I was not exhausted in office, but I was exhausted due to traffic.
Traveling.
So it was very tough. I remember when I started during my early days, I used to sleep during the officers' classes. Because I was so tired, I was not able to study. So working from home helped. I used to take time out between work also, like 1 hour here and there. You don't have to work all the time. So I took time, and since there were no commuting, so I was able to spend time after work. And I used to study around 5 to 6 hours daily during weekdays, and 10 to 12 hours during weekend.
So 5 to 6 hours during weekdays and 10 to 12 hours during the weekends, and working from home has helped him. He's finding time in between his office schedule and saving time that usually goes in commuting, getting ready and all of that. So if you are an office person but you have the work from home opportunity, you can do that. Do you have any advice, Abhishek, for people who don't have a work from home? Can you give them some advice about how they can manage?
I think when you come home from work, taking 1 hour off, 1.5 hour off, give yourself time to relax, exercise if you can, and then spend 3 to 4 hours at max. And if you are tired and you are not able to study during night, then you can sleep early and get early in the morning, and then spend 3 to 4 hours. So that's how basically you have to manage during weekdays at least 3 hours daily to maintain some consistency, so that you don't feel that you have a lot to study during the weekend. So if you study consistently during weekdays, so you can take couple of hours off during weekend, give yourself time to relax and study for 10, 12 hours on weekend also.
Okay, so most people who are working or who even have college keep asking about time management. So like he says that at least 3 hours can be managed. If you're extremely tired about after college and office, you can maybe take a power nap or just sleep for an hour and feel refreshed. Maybe study late at night after sleeping a little, or if you're sleeping early, then you get up early and you manage some hours before office or college. The bottom line is that you will have to manage at least 3 hours or 2 to 3 hours on the weekdays and around 10 to 12 hours on the weekends, because that's the only choice that you're left with. If you're a person who's taken a drop, then you can put in fewer number of hours, but all the days, because you have more time to yourself. So you will have to manage accordingly. Okay. Do you have any tips about decision making or essay writing or GK? These are the 3 things that are different. तो इन तीनों के लिए कुछ अलग अलग बता सकते हो, कैसे तैयारी करी या क्या करना चाहिए?
For GK, I mean, if you are reading newspaper daily, you don't have to worry much, and I advise everyone to read newspaper daily, because that will help you in interviews during your RC in CAT, ZAT, IFT, and exam that you are giving. So that will take care of GK. And apart from that, there are so many courses, like Ravi sir started taking courses of GK regularly. Karishma ma'am also, you are taking it. There are so many lectures on YouTube also that different people from different coaching take sessions on GK. So I used to cover GK from that only.
Okay.
For essay, I don't like this year that I'm not sure. Like they don't share like what percentage does essay hold. You have to write a decent essay, but don't worry about that. You don't need Shashi Tharoor level English. I have seen people, they worry about how they are going to write essay. I think basic English, simple sentences is fine. Just write like whatever is asked. Like don't divert from the subject too much, and because you cannot fool them. They might not ask you question about your essay in interview, but I don't think I wrote a very good essay during that exam, but I know that I wrote about the topic decent enough that they will not reject me because of my essay. But they didn't ask anything about my essay in the interview. I'm not sure of what percentage does essay hold for XLRI conversion, but I think this essay is manageable. Just practice like writing 2 or 3 essays before exam. That will help, and read about various topics. So if you are reading regularly from various sources, you will not face problem in essay. And third is decision making. So, I mean, as I said, like, it is all about practice. The more you practice about decision making, the better you will get. And also, I felt since I was working professional, there were a lot of questions which I could relate to. So that's why I had a liking toward decision making, because I was able to relate it to my experience and solve it. So that's why it was easy for me. But those who are freshers, I mean, what I will give advice is like practice a lot of questions from different mocks, and if you are an academy student, you can do courses. A lot of faculty take decision making course, and then I think you will be able to do it.
Okay, so I'll sum that up. So decision making is done the classes of the educators who are taking it, and he's bringing in a lot of experience from his own work ex, because he finds the questions and the sets relatable. He's also doing some amount of practice from various YouTube channels as to how XAT questions are attempted and solved, especially when it comes to GK. So various coaching institutes take GK classes. He's following the newspaper religiously, reading extensively. And that is also helping him with content in the essay, because he's able to write a decent essay without having much practice about writing. And like he said, you don't need to be Tharoor to write a great essay. Your content should be to the point, it should be precise, and content is king. If your English is simple, plain, simple, correct, grammatically correct sentences, I think that will manage. And like he said, that you might not be the person who's written the greatest essay out there, but you should also be among the people who don't get rejected simply because of their essay. So digression should not happen, and like I said, you can't fool the panel. So because when you know that you can't fool the panel, then you should try to keep your information as precise and to the point as possible. So that's some extra prep that you can do. Anything else, Abhishek, that you think is very different or difficult in XAT that people should concentrate on? Maybe the level of QA, maybe the level of RCs, I don't know. How was your experience? How was डू यू थिंक 95 लाना कैट में आसान है या 98 जैट में लाना आसान है? अक्सर लोग पूछते हैं कैट से जैट टफ होता है या इजी होता है, तुम्हारा क्या पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है?
Ma'am, it differs from person to person. Like everyone has their certain strength.
So तुम्हारा point of view क्या है?
For me, that was the most easiest exam, like because I had time to come back. Okay. So if I'm not able to solve VARC for like my first passage, like I read and I'm not able to get it, I can go into DM section and I go into quant section and come back later, because you have around 3 hours. Yeah. Even if nothing is going well, you can take 2-minute rest and take deep breath and then again go back into exam. Yeah. And since there was one section that I was very good at, DM, so I felt very comfortable with that. And my strategy was simple, that I will first solve DM. I will solve all the question apart from that quant-based decision making. I didn't even waste my 5 seconds when I saw that question, because I know I have not practiced it. So wasting time on it is not going to make sense. So I when I saw it, I left it as soon as I saw, and then I solved most of the DM questions. Then I went back to VARC, and tried to. I know this is a section I'm comfortable in, so I tried to solve as many questions as I can in VARC. But I also know that my accuracy sometimes take a hit, because I'm sometimes lazy not to go back to the passage when I'm stuck between two options. That is something I have faced a problem a lot of time in mocks. when I'm confused between two options, I don't go back and just mark one and go ahead. So this I was keeping in mind that I have to go back if I'm stuck. Then quant is my Achilles heel. Even though I'm an engineer, but I have faced a lot of problem in quant, and the reason I took 3 years is one of the main reason was quant.
Okay.
I had a lot of content, I knew a lot of formulas, but practice and that fear of solving quant question was holding me back. So I knew like I have to take out 4 or 5 questions from DI. So my target was around 12 to 13 question in quant this time, and from out of that I have to take 3 to 4 questions at least from DI. So this time DI was, apart from one set, there were 2 easy sets. So I did all those questions, and I felt, and I think a lot of students would agree who gave that, quant level was decent in that this time. It was not as tough as previous years. And since I have solved a lot of previous year papers, I knew that there are 7 to 8 very easy questions in that. So if overall you are doing 12 to 13 question in quant in that, you will easily get 95, 96 percentile. So, and I was able to do it, and overall I was targeting around 60 question in that this year, because last 2 years, I was very nervous, and I just attempted 30-35 question. I was like, I will, if I get 90% accuracy, I will get a call, but that you don't usually work. You will get a lot of wrong, negative, and you will not get a call if you are only attending 30-35 questions, because it is very highly unlikely that you will have 100% accuracy in exam. So what my advice is, solve as many questions as you can, around 60, 50, and so and I scored around 45, 46 marks in that. So for me, that was very I was very comfortable with that, and people who face problem in DM and these section, they can work upon it, but there are other exams that they can also ace, because there's at least one exam is there. Every exam is different in certain aspect, so at least one exam will be there which you can ace as per your strength.
आई थिंक दैट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप सारे एग्जाम्स का पैटर्न देखें, ओमेट्स कैसे आते हैं, किस में आरसी टफ आता है. फॉर एग्जांपल कैट का आरसी टफ है, एनमैट का सीआर डीआर टफ है, जैड का जीके पोर्शन एक्स्ट्रा है, या जैड का क्यूए कभी कैलकुलेटिव आ जाता है, या एनमैट का क्यूए कैलकुलेटिव आता है. तो आपको ये बातें पता होनी चाहिए, और आप अपने स्ट्रेंथ के हिसाब से एग्ज़ाम चुन सकते हैं कि आपको कौन सा एग्ज़ाम आप एस कर सकते हो, लाइक ही सेज, और उसके हिसाब से आप तैयारी कर सकते हो. दैट्स एन इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. समबडी इज आस्किंग दैट सिंस यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन एचआर, डिड यू अपीयर फॉर टिस्नेट एज वेल?
Last year I appeared, but this year I didn't.
Okay.
Because I think TISNET form came very late, and I knew I will be converting some calls. So this year I didn't appear for TISNET.
I like
Last year I was not. Yeah.
अच्छी बात है. What did you do? What channel did you follow for GK? Sushant is asking. Can you name a couple of
GK? For in YouTube you can follow Byju's. I remember there's one faculty that put quite a GK lectures, and Kraku also post some video about the GK and all. And in Unacademy, like you can follow Ravi sir for GK.
Okay, cool, good enough. And did you have any distraction issues? वैसे तुम working हो तो तुम I think manage कर पाते होगे distractions. What do you have to say about it?
Distraction, like as I said, like if you are giving yourself time to relax couple of hours, during weekend or 1 hour during weekdays, so you will not face lot of distraction. But when you are like when it is your third or second attempt, the most important thing to focus on is confidence, because you will have lot of self doubts whether I'm like going to get to which college, because as your number of years of experience increases, the colleges that you can apply for decreases. Right, so there are only certain number of colleges you can apply for.
तो तुमने तीसरी बार दिया तो तुमको बहुत बीच बीच में डिमोटिवेशन होती होगी, या तुम्हें लगता होगा कि यार मैं फिर से दे रहा हूँ, और प्रेशर, एक सेल्फ क्रिएटेड प्रेशर कह लो, घर वालों का प्रेशर कह लो, बढ़ जाता है. घर वालों का ना भी हो तो खुद का मन ही खुद को खाता है कि फिर से दे रहा हूँ, फिर से तैयारी कर रहा हूँ. तो हाउ डिड यू मैनेज दैट स्ट्रेस? Did you do something, or did you have a mantra? Did you do some ritual that would help you? How did you handle it?
So first thing is, आप और रवि सर थे, so self confidence and all उसकी बहुत ज़्यादा problem नहीं, because आप लोग क्लास में जाओ, so there's so much positivity, and you guys, apart from the studies, you guys motivate students so much. So confidence related issue इतने नहीं आए, yes, there was a expectations issue that I expect a lot from myself. My family also expect a lot from myself. So there was a self doubt sometimes. I'm failing again and again. My work experience is increasing. I'm not. I'm decent at job. I'm earning well, but I want to have something extra in my life. I want to get into a good position that I cannot do without MBA, or it will take a lot of years without MBA. So there was pressure a lot of time, but I have failed a lot of time in my life. Previously, I prepared for IIT JEE. I failed. I performed very bad at IIT JEE exam. So I learned to smile at my failures a long time back. So it was not much issue. Sometimes, yeah, it used to trouble me, but then you and Ravi sir were there, so it I was able to manage.
Chalo, I'm glad the classes helped you. Okay, would you like to discuss your daily schedule a little bit? कि कैसे मैनेज करते थे कॉलेज बोल रही हूँ ऑफिस के बाद.
So my office timing is usually 10:30, 10 to 7, 7:30, and I used to wake up at 9:30, 9:45. And between 10 to 7, I always try to find 1.5 hour or 2 hours at least. It was not possible every day, but most of the time I was able to manage my workload and I was able to find 2 hours. So 2 hours here. Then after 7, I used to go to gym for 1 hour, have dinner, and so I used to start studying from 9:30. So after 7 to till 9:30, it was a break, exercise, and everything. And then from 9:30, I used to study till 2:30, 3 o'clock whatever like my condition is in. And I used to watch movies sometime between like 9 to 2, 1 hour or half an hour if I'm feeling very stressed out or not feeling well.
Okay, okay. Ritika is asking VARC के लिए कैसे prep किया?
So for VARC, like as in ma'am, you also mentioned that CAT or VARC level is increasing every year. I mean that I gave 3 attempts and I felt this also that from 2020, 2021 and 2022, CAT VARC level is increasing.
Yes.
So next year I'm expecting it will be more tougher.
Yes.
So for VARCs, first thing is you have to read extensively. Read the editorials from different newspapers, maybe from the Hindu or the Mint, and then read from other sources also, like psychological passage, finance-based passage. So you have to prepare your mind for tough passages so you can comprehend them. Then class is important, as I said, because you might be good at VRC, but you might don't know how to approach a particular question. That like I was facing issue. I was getting stuck between two options, and so the classes help for that. So I watched a lot of classes and understood like how faculties are going back to passage, how they are looking into particular option. So that is important, and that self practice is the most important, I would say. So I used to solve a lot of VARC passages from previous year mocks. Like I can't give you the number because I don't know, but I have solved a lot of mocks of previous years. And this year mock, like I used to analyze a lot. So self practice is the most important, I would say, when it comes to VARC.
Did you use any books also for any of the sections?
No.
What mocks did you take apart from Unacademy?
I gave SimCAT mocks and Unacademy mocks.
Okay, so कितना full length mocks लिखा होगा लगभग ZAT के लिए और CAT के लिए?
For CAT, I gave around 25 live mocks, like this year mocks and previous year mocks, full length mocks. For ZAT, this year I just gave one mock. I was more focused into practice since I knew that my strategy was clear, what section I have to attempt, in which section I have to do this number of question. So my issue was practice. So for whole 1 month, I was doing practice only, and I gave couple of mocks just for practice, like I am able to sit for 3 hours or not.
Okay. And what do you think is a good time to start taking mocks?
I would say around June, July is the best time.
Okay. Can you share your interview experience at XLRI or at any college? I would say interview experiences are always fun to know.
So there's an underrated opinion that I think someone shared on Telegram that interview preparation is more tougher than the
Yes.
exam preparation,
Absolutely.
because you have so much to study. You have to go through current affairs. You have to form opinion on them. You need to have knowledge about that. Then you have to go through your undergrad subjects, and then if you are working profession, you have to study about your work
Your
subject.
work is also.
Someone from
Yes.
like me who's had a degree BTech in electronics and working in IT, so I had to prepare for two subjects, like IT subjects also and
Electronics also.
electronics also. So it was very tough, and it is very highly possible that they might not ask you a single question from these.
Yeah.
And so for example, in my XLRI HR interview, that was one of the most strange interview I have ever had. They started with, "Where are you joining from?" I said, "Maihar." It's a small town in Madhya Pradesh and very famous for Sharda Devi temple. So they told me, "Let's share something interesting about Maihar." So I shared a story that Shivji and Parvati ji were traveling, and Parvati ji necklace dropped at this place, and that's why they call it Maihar, like Ma plus Har, like Ma. So he started joking that, "Did anyone find that necklace and all?" So I was like, "No, no, sir, I don't think so." Then there was one female panelist. She asked, "Tell one quality of Lord Shiva that will make him a good HR." So this is a question that you cannot prepare for. There is no way that you can think about it. So you have to be very quick. Like you can't fumble there. It's an opportunity that you can impress the panel. Luckily, I'm good with mythology, so I know one incident of there's an incident called Samudra Manthan in the mythology. So I mentioned that, and I told like Lord Shiv was able to manage balance between the lords and the demons
Asuras
who
and the
drank poison and
devas.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was very impressed with that answer. She said good. And then they asked a couple of questions from SOP. So SOP writing for XLRI or any college that you are appearing for is very important. Make sure that you know everything about your SOP. So he asked me one question from SOP, and when I was giving answer, there was one word that I used that was fruitful. So I said it will be fruitful for team. So he picked that word and started drilling on that, right? Whether it will be fruitful or efficient. So
Acha.
main thing in interview is to manage your composure, be self-confident, always keep smiling. They will grill you. I mean, like in the top B schools, mostly Blackie and Excel or
You have to
IFT,
think on your feet
they
basically.
yeah, you have to think on your feet, and they will not stick to basic questions that you face in other interviews. They will pick questions from your answers. So you have to be confident. You can't prepare for everything. Rest, I would say that prepare as much as you can of basic HR questions that are there, your education and everything, and just be confident. I took it more as a conversation that made me feel confident during the interview. And Excel, I was able to do it. BM, it even went well, but I was rejected. I'm not sure what happened. So you cannot actually predict what is going to happen. You just be yourself, have a decent conversation, and keep smiling throughout the interview. And I think it will, at least one call you will be able to convey.
तो तुमने इसकी तैयारी खुद की थी GDP एक्सेट्रा की या कहीं से कोचिंग ली थी?
I took GDPI course of Unacademy.
अच्छा, okay. So you took plus and GDPI separately.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the information of the viewers, if you take an iconic plan, GDPI prep is already included in it. So you might choose to take plus and GDPI separately. You might choose to take iconic with the GDPI included, especially if you're sure about your preparation. So you can decide. So okay, I think good enough. So we have had a good discussion about how to prepare, how to go about the extra sections, the number of mocks that he's taken, the coaching that he's taken, the teachers that he has followed, the timetable he has followed. So I think this was a pretty good discussion. I would like to thank you, Abhishek, for giving us your time, for giving us your valuable suggestions. I would like to end the interview by giving you a chance to give us 3 mantras or tips for CAT, ZAT or whatever exam preparation.
So first and foremost important is practice. Practice as much as you can. The last two attempt that which I was not able to clear, I was looking to the question and I felt that this is something I could solve, but I was not able to solve it, and I realized that I'm lacking at practice. So practice as much as you can. Don't wait for the topic to over, especially in quant. You can start practicing because it's not something you have to attend the course and then only you will practice. You can start practicing on your own. Second is reading. Read extensively as much as you can. Build a very strong comprehension, because VRC is getting tougher every year. So I have seen people who were like at God level at Cons and LRD. They were always scoring, like in poll they were always getting everything correct. In mocks they were getting 99, but still they couldn't get into a top B school because they were not able to get through the VRC section. So don't take VRC lightly. Read as much as you can and practice as much as you can. And third mantra, I would say, like give mocks. You should give mocks. Like at least take one mock, and apart from Unacademy, and analyze it. See what sections are there that are your weakness. See what kind of exam you are good at, or so you can plan accordingly that which exam will be your strength, and you can update or change your preparation as per that.
Okay, thank you so much. I think this was very enlightening. I would like to congratulate you once again for making it to your dream B school. I hope you join the HR gang of XLRI and recruit many more people in the future. All the best for your
Thank
journey
you so
ahead.
much.
Thank you so much for your time and wisdom.
Thank you.
Okay.